It seems in the last 10 years, whether we're talking government programs, corporate America, there's not a CEO out there that isn't waving the flag, saying, we want women, we're training women, we love women. But the numbers are still bleak. What gives?
Look, I mean, one of the things that I talk about in my book is that, we absolutely need to make a difference on sexism and, dealing with some of the issues that we have in industry. But also we as women need to learn to start taking more risks. We live in a society where we're really ashamed of failure. I lost 2 races. That was not fun. But
races?
2 political races. Ooh.
I see. I thought you meant marathon.
No, I did run the marathon. I did quite well in there. But I mean, failure's hard, right? And especially hard for women who feel like we have to do the job before we get the job. And so part of what we're teaching at Girls Who Code is to get more women to learn computer science, something that we may all objectively think is something that's really hard, and to learn how to fail.
I would think it's boring. When I think about coding, it seems boring. Aren't you just typing in line after line after line of code?
Absolutely not.
I don't know how to do it.
You know what? We're taking
Are we talking about C++ here?
Stop.
What is this?
I want to actually bring up a chart that's interesting to me, why women are not going into computer science. So in areas like medicine, law, here we have the numbers are going up. And even though they're going up in computer science, they're still very small. Why? While we currently have those iconic Sheryl Sandberg figures out there, why isn't it registering with young women?
So that chart is fascinating, right? Because what you see happened is in the 1980s, 37% of computer science graduates were women. And today that number is between 12 and 18%. It's the only industry where you've seen a decline in women. The opposite thing happened in medicine and law. You actually had an increase. And why did that happen? I'm a lawyer. I decided I wanted to be a lawyer because I saw Kelly McGillis in The Accused. And I watched LA Law and Grey's Anatomy. And there were these fabulous women in law and medicine who looked like me. And I said, you know what? I can be them.
You got to see it to be it.
The opposite thing happened in computer science. In the 1980s, we started marketing the personal computer to boys. We had Revenge of the Nerds, Weird Science, right? Now you cannot even think of a female executive entrepreneur role model on television that looks like a young girl. And girls are saying, you know what? It's not for me. And we're
because
telling
they don't
them
want
it's
to
not
be
for
like
you.
a fat, slovenly, unshaven.
They don't want to wear a hoodie and drink Red Bull and be in a hackathon all day and not take a shower. It's not fun. It's not interesting.
So how are you changing it? What action steps do you take?
We are making technology cool. We are changing the way that we teach computer science by making it more project-based. So our girls go through our program and they build apps to help find your polling booth. They build apps to help fight bullying. They build algorithms to help detect whether a cancer is benign or malignant. Our girls built a game called Tampon Run that literally shoots tampons at you instead of guns.
I'm not really up for that game. Are there companies that you are either working with or you can point to that you believe are making a difference?
Tons of them. Twitter, I think, is making a huge difference. I think Square is making a huge difference. AT&T is one of our companies that's making a difference. GE.
I thought Twitter was one of the problems. Isn't Twitter the company that didn't have any women on its board when they went public?
Well, and they're making a difference on this issue. They're changing it. And they're really, and look, I mean, Dick Costolo was one of my first supporters of Girls Who Code when it was just an idea in my head. They have programs almost in many of their offices now. They have girls who are learning how to code in their New York office that come there every Monday for 2 hours and learn how to computer program. They are committed to building the supply and solving the supply side problem.
When did you start Girls Who Code?
2012 with 20 girls. But in December we would teach 3,000. And that doesn't count the tens of thousands of girls that who've simply heard about Girls Who Code and said, you know what, I'm going to take a class at Code Academy. I'm going to learn how to program.
And what's the exit plan? Those 3,000 girls, what are they to do next? Try to get computer programming jobs?
95% of them say that they graduate our program, they want a major or minor in computer science. So that chart that we saw, we're changing that. It's going to start going up again. We're going to graduate more and more women in computer science, and they're going to work at Facebook and Twitter and Square, and they're going to run those companies in the next 10 years.
Are those companies making hard number commitments to say, I'm going to hire X amount of women? Because there is some level of women fatigue or a pink ghetto that everybody's got a women's initiative, but when you actually look to the numbers, we don't see the results yet. Are you seeing CEOs of those companies say, I'm going to commit to hire a certain amount of women?
Watch what we do in the next year. We're getting them to commit. We're going to get them to basically say that it's not just about having girls in your conference room across the street learning how to computer program. I want to see them in your internship program. Facebook hires interns freshman year. That means that our girls in the next year and a half can start working at Facebook, and it's going to happen.
Then the only thing we can say to you, Reshma, is thank you. Thank you for doing it
for
business. Thank you for doing it for girls. Thank you for educating Guys like Matt.
Yeah. I need.
It's all right.
Maybe I'll take a coding class.
He doesn't want to learn to code? No problem.
You should have 40-year-olds who code. That would be a different kind of.
Except he couldn't be in that class because he's 41.
Because I'm 41. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Reshma Saujani, founder of Girls Who Code, and she's got a new book out, Women Don't Wait in Line.